So last week, before Palantir even got to 183, this is what I had to say. Take a listen. Now, above current support, Palantir has resistance at 161 and at 169. If the stock can get above 161, then I want you guys to look for a 5% run to 169. And if the bulls can break above that level, then I want you guys to look for a 10% run to 176. Overall, to the upside, we can possibly see a run to 183 for Palantir. Now, what's amazing about my analysis on Palantir is the fact that the stock is at new all-time highs. So there was no previous levels for me to refer to. I did it all based on the algorithm. Now, 5 months ago, right before Soundhound bottomed, I gave you guys my upside price targets. Take a listen. In my opinion, this is a AI stock worth looking into, even though they're not yet profitable. Once the stock can break out of this bullish pennant, I'm looking for it to hit $13 and $18 per share. So at the time of that recording, Soundhound was trading at $9.14. The stock did end up taking a dip, but if you listen to my analysis and look at my chart, you can see that this level was already drawn. So the pullback that occurred was a massive buying opportunity. Now, despite Apple's recent upside, this is what Dan Ives had to say about the company. Take a listen.
Bring in Dan Ives, Wedbush's global head of technology research. Dan, great to see you.
Here.
Great to see your outfit too. It's always fun to see what you're wearing.
Thank you.
It's interesting that you come out with this note and you say, is there a BlackBerry moment waiting for Apple, which really implies the worst situation for a tech stock after a massive rally here. This doesn't alleviate any of those concerns.
Look, I think there was a huge concern on tariff, playing nice in the sandbox with Trump. That clearly has alleviated that in terms of the India, the China tariffs, and you've seen the stock lift from it, and it was way oversold. But the elephant in the room, it's this AI revolution, this strategy right now, it's essentially invisible for Apple. And you think about everything that we see in big tech across the board, it's an F1 race. Passing them by, and Apple's essentially and Cook on a park bench drinking lemonade. So our view is, whether it's Perplexity, doubling down on Google despite DOJ and other antitrust issues, bringing new management in under Cook, they got to do something, because time, ultimately, we're talking about 3 to 6 months that they have to make a big move. If they stay on the treadmill, and I think that it does cap some of the upside.
One of the things is you say do the Perplexity acquisition. Can they get there effectively having some sort of AI search available on its iPhones, on its devices, without making an acquisition?
No. I mean, I just continue. There's a better chance of me playing in Ryder Cup in September than Apple innovating internally on AI. I think there's a 100% chance that is not happening internally. So then it comes down to, for a company that has never acquired, beats $3 billion, biggest acquisition, you got to rip the Band-Aid off. In other words, now's the change, because I can tell from talking to developers, everything we see in the ecosystem, it has to be acquisitions. And it can't be small deals, undisclosed. 2 years from now, we're still waiting for this. You have the biggest install base in the world. You have 1.5 billion iPhones. This is the time. And look, and I continue to think, I think Cook should be CEO. We believe he's been a Hall of Fame CEO and should continue to be. But it will tarnish his legacy and the Apple future if they miss out on the fourth industrial revolution that's right in front of us.
Tim has a question.
Dan, looking sharp as usual. Question for you is: are we too focused at the multiple here? Have investors been too focused for the last 6 to 9 months? As you said, there should be urgency to where they sit, but the rest of the sector multiples don't really seem to matter. Is this a problem?
Well, Tim, to me, it's really about they're missing AI. So when it comes to Palantir and Microsoft, Godfather AI, Jensen, NVIDIA, you could continue to look at the growth in the next 2-3 years, because we're talking about trillions that's going to be spent in the next 3 years. Apple's nowhere when it comes to AI. That's why the multiple is going to continue to be under focus, because you don't have that's now playing out. And I think when we were at WWDC in Cupertino, you left there thinking like, okay, was I just in Back to the Future? Because that fundamentally is the problem right now for Apple.
Going into the rest of the video, I have some important levels for you guys to watch on Palantir, CrowdStrike, ticker symbol CRWD, and ticker symbol SOUN, Soundhound AI. Let's start with Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR. So current support for Palantir is at 183. If the stock falls below that level, then look for a 5% pullback to 176. And if that level breaks, look for a 9% pullback to 169. Overall, to the downside, I'm looking for Palantir to pull back to 131. Above current support, Palantir has resistance at 187 and at 192. If the stock can get above 187, then look for a 3% run to 192. Now, if the bulls can get above 192 and use that level as support, then I want you guys to look for a 5% run to 197. Next, we have Soundhound AI, ticker symbol SOUN. So current support for Soundhound is going to be at 1320. If buyers cannot keep the stock above this level, then look for a pullback to 1231. And if that level breaks, then look for a further pullback to 1140. From current price, we're looking at a decline of over 15%. Now, to the upside, if Soundhound can stay above current support at 1320, then I want you guys to look for a 12% run to 1525. And if buyers can get above 1525 and use that level as support, then look for a run to $17. And from current price, that would be a return of over 25%. Overall, to the upside, my price target for Soundhound remains at $18 per share. Next, we have CrowdStrike, ticker symbol CRWD. So current support for CrowdStrike is going to be at 418. If buyers cannot keep the stock above this level, then look for a pullback to 401. And if this level breaks, then look for a further pullback of 9% to 384. Now, above current support, if buyers can keep the stock above 418, then I want you guys to look for a 6% run to 452. And if they can get above 452 and stay above it, then look for a run to 468. And from current price, we're looking at a return of over 10%. Overall, to the upside, my price target for CrowdStrike is going to be at 531. Alright guys, if you liked today's video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up, and if you'd like more accurate price predictions, then consider subscribing to the channel. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.